Different mountain, same heart. Written and narrated by Indy Dixon, illustrated by Jacy Wilkinson. It took little for Steve to find a good adventure. As soon as the sun was up, Steve was dressed and ready to take a ride to the Neuse River to find turtles. Steve lived in Bridgeton, North Carolina. During the summer, Steve was happy to spend all day riding his bike and watching the turtle colony go about their daily routine. Sometimes, he and his brother Jonathan and sister Sharon would go to Grandma's house where they would play all day and eat Grandma's delicious meals. Mama always said that Grandma spoiled them, but she knew that Grandma Essie loved her grandkids dearly. Indy's day was a little different. She would have liked to sleep in, but the neighbor's rooster had other plans. When the rooster started crowing, Indy would get up and breathe in the aroma of her grandmother's coffee brewing in her tiny kitchen. During the summer, Indy and her brothers and sisters would spend time at their grandmother's or abuelita's house in Rio Piedras, Puerto Rico. They would walk to the neighborhood market to buy fresh produce, stop at a neighbor's house for the day's news, and play freeze tag until their abuelita called them in for la cena, which was dinner time. Abuelita Maria loved her grandkids dearly. As much as Steve loved riding his bike to the river to look for turtles, he also loved playing music with his family. Daddy Dixon played the banjo, the guitar, the mandolin, and the dobro, while Mama Dixon played the guitar and the piano. Steve loved to play the guitar and the banjo, but playing the drums was also fun. Steve loved to play music at church, where his daddy was the pastor. His mama encouraged him to play from his heart to please God, and he did just that. Indy loved to sing with her family, especially her sisters Maria and Angela. Sometimes they would spend hours singing together. Indy's dad, or papi, played the congas, and her mommy had a beautiful voice. Mommy taught her children how to sing special hymns. When they learned a new song, Indy liked figuring out what part to sing. Indy and her siblings sang at the church where papi was the pastor. Their mommy always encouraged them to think only about Jesus when they sang their songs. Steve liked to listen to a type of music called bluegrass. This music came from the mountains in the southern part of the United States, like Kentucky, North Carolina, and West Virginia. Steve's favorite songs involved fast banjo picking, lots of fiddles, vigorous guitar strumming, and singing in harmony. Steve's family loved to play Christmas songs and special hymns in the style of bluegrass. They played the banjo, mandolin, fiddle, guitar, and dobro. Indy liked to listen to the jibaro music of Puerto Rico. It came from the central mountain range of the island. Indy's favorite songs involved fast picking on a 10-string lute called el cuatro, and vigorous guitar strumming and singing in harmony. Like bluegrass, the jibaro songs told stories about life in the mountains and farmlands. Some stories were sad and described the struggle many families experienced. Others were happy or humorous and told funny stories. And some were about falling in love in unexpected ways. Steve was from North Carolina, and Indy was from Puerto Rico. Steve was fair-skinned, and Indy's skin was brown. Steve's family spoke English, and Indy's family spoke Spanish. They ate different foods, and they went to different schools. Steve and Indy were from very different places, but loved many of the same things and grew up similarly. They loved their families, spending time at Grandma's house, and playing outside with their siblings. They loved going to church, where their daddies were the preachers. They loved the music of the mountains, and they loved Jesus. One day, Steve and Indy met for the first time. Steve was playing music in North Carolina, and Indy had come to North Carolina to sing. They became good friends and enjoyed telling each other stories about growing up. Steve described the mountains of North Carolina. Indy described the mountains of Puerto Rico. They listened to each other's music and discovered they shared the same heart for family, music, and God. Steve and Indy decided to get married and play music together. Steve's mom and dad and Indy's mommy and papi met each other and found that they also had many things in common. It was easy to see that even though they had come from different mountains, they shared the same heart. Today, Steve and Indy are pastors who make music together, just like their parents before them. They love to help young people find their place in this great, big world. They are foster parents, and they mentor young adults who are transitioning to adulthood and family life. They also encourage people who may look, sound, and feel different from one another to discover the things they have in common while celebrating what makes them special and unique. Therefore, if you have any encouragement from being united in Christ, if any comfort from His love, if any common sharing in the Spirit, if any tenderness and compassion, then make my joy complete by being like-minded. Have the same love, being one in spirit and of one mind. Philippians 2:2. Now it's your turn. Kids, what are some things that make you different from your friends and classmates and neighbors? What are some things that are similar about you and your friends and classmates and neighbors? Adults, invite someone different from you to coffee or lunch and ask them to share their story.